Hello, welcome to the channel. If you meet me for the first time, my name is Daniel and you're welcome to the channel. So we are going to be checking out this particular debate between Charlie Craig and this college student. And this particular debate is centered on the pro-life, which Charlie Craig always talk about and is an activist of that. So we are going to check it out shortly. Don't go anywhere. Please like, subscribe, and also share this video to your friends and loved ones. At the end or towards the end of this video, you will hear what this college student says to Charlie Craig, and at the end, you will know what's happening. So let's dive into the main video so that you can watch.
All right, my question to you is aimed at
Hmm,
Trump's pro-life perspective on the abortion issue, and that is,
exactly.
why do you believe in pro-life policies and like the pro-life movement, but only up until the point of
What do you think
birth?
about this?
Why does pro-life not continue to extend past birth into the child's life and supporting free school lunches and extended
Hmm.
maternal leave and adding the SNAP benefits to help reduce the number of children in poverty? And why do you support pro-life only until the child is born?
Everything we support is pro-life. That's why we want more police on the streets so that crime
All
goes down.
right.
We also want a border to make sure that when that kid grows up, they're actually part of a country. We want tax cuts so that those families can actually feed their kids. To those elements, though, I think there's something disturbing when we look to the government to feed our kids. Now, in necessary in times that, to feed
I
kids, we
see.
should step in. But is government really the first step to try to make sure a kid has a meal?
But is that not, well,
And just so we
just
are
about verbatim quotes from those, from that Bible and Jesus that you're always talking about? Is
Yes, well, hold on.
feed the hungry and clothe the poor and support everybody?
That's a
And
third and fourth important point.
yeah,
That's where I believe Christian charities and churches should step up and feed and to clothe and to be a helping hand, not government. In fact, we used to be a country that we had a lot more private charities going and helping people in need. In
Totally
fact, I would
agree.
make a contention if the government cut all of its social welfare, every church would step up to make sure that no kid went hungry in this country and that no kid would die of starvation. We are
Hmm.
a very generous people. And what we have found in Europe, when the government grows to such an extent, private charity basically goes under. Also, I do want to make sure it's clear child starvation is not an issue in this country. 5 to 10% of kids experience what they call food insecurity. That's like a
Wow.
very opaque term. But 50% of our children are obese or overweight. We
yeah.
do not have a child starvation issue. We have a child obesity problem. We're feeding our kids too much of the bad food, not too little of food that they need.
Yeah.
Finally, so
Although
every
those two issues do go hand in hand because lower income families are not able to afford
see that's
Exactly.
actually not
the
true.
higher nutrition or the more nutritious, healthier foods that
They make a conscious choice to buy bad stuff. Study
What do
after
you
study
think about
shows.
bad
this?
stuff is cheaper and they can get more food that way. They can't afford to eat fancy, local, organic
Hmm.
Caesar salads from Whole Foods. They can afford to eat a sandwich off the dollar menu because they only have like $2.
You're right. So again, study after study shows that that's actually not true. That lower income families actually
All
prefer
right.
the worst food, and they've actually grown largely addicted to it. They become very glucose dependent. But anyway, to answer your question, we as pro-lifers, every public policy position we hold is pro-life. I'll give you another example. We want to end the Russian-Ukrainian war
I see.
so that the sons and daughters of this nation don't get drafted into World War III against Russia. So everything we believe is through a pro-life prism.
Okay. In that case, to that end, I mean, it's not so much of an opinion, but there are people in this country who do die in the every winter die of exposure because they are homeless and shelters don't have enough room or capacity and they haven't anywhere warm to sleep and they die of exposure. So with that in mind, would you support
Totally
increased
agree.
funding for homeless shelters in the country?
No. Homeless shelters are not the issue. When homeless die on the streets of Chicago, it's because they do not want to go inside. They're told repeatedly by police and other organizations. There are churches that will put them in, gymnasiums that will put them in, but they decide to stay on the streets. Funding is not the problem of homelessness. Drug usage, mental issues, and also just a overly liberated view of who actually gets to live on the streets is the issue. Thank you very much. I got to get
Wow.
to the next
All
question.
right.
Thank you.
Guys, I love this particular debate between Charlie Craig and the college students. Now, the college student actually had his own point to voice out, and he talked about the pro-life and also childbirth and how they are being taken care of, which should be taken care of, and also the government. Now, I'm going to be breaking this one after the other. Now, he talked about Charlie Creek talking on pro-life, and when Charlie Creek came up with this point, which says that he talks about pro-life because of he don't want the situation where the child will be it out in the streets, and that is why the police have to come into place to make sure that all those touts, all those people trying to cause nuisance in the country won't be in existence. And he talks about the pro-life of childbirth before the child is born. Then these measures are being put in place for all these things not to come into play, and which abide the idea of Charlie Creek. He said that perfectly well. And the aspects where these college students talk about the government taking care of the children that is being born. Now, I feel government also has a role to play on this, but not 100%. Now, we are not going to leave the work only on the government. We also have a role to play. Now we have different platforms where people can actually voice out and also be heard. And not only that, you can receive the help and care you want from such platform. Example, we have the churches, the mosques. Now, if the pastors in various churches can come out to care for the needs of their member, now it will actually elevate poverty out of the street. Now, they won't have poor people out there. Now, everybody will be averagely okay to take care or to cater for his or herself. And he also talked about that, and which Charlie Creek also voiced out. And I actually enjoyed the fact that Charlie Creek did that. The government won't do everything for you. Government can only do part of what will benefit you and won't do all. So that is what Charlie Creek was actually trying to pinpoint out. And also that is the college student, was saying that the government should also try by possible best to make sure that they care 100% for the children and for the needs of the citizen. Definitely, the government always do that, but not 100% accurate, which I can say from different countries have different role which they play. Now, it depends on what the government is actually giving out and also what they are receiving in return. That is what I have to say relating to that particular one. And now, if elevating poverty won't actually happen suddenly. It takes a gradual process. Now, there's a saying that says we rise by lifting others. Now, if you're someone that is actually down, that needs help, you can actually show that help or do that support to the person. That is the plan, and that is the way to show you that particular love that you can give. And Charlie Creek make a very good note on this, and for the college students actually made sense, but I don't think the government have everything in their power to do for the citizen. They can do to some extent, and the citizen have a lot to do for themselves. So thank you guys for watching to this very moment. I know you have something to say relating to this particular one. Please don't hesitate to drop that in the comment section. Also, you can like this video, share this video, and also subscribe to this channel. if you are yet to subscribe. For all our returning subscribers, I appreciate you all for always coming back to check on what we have to offer on the channel. I appreciate every one of you. And don't I know I want to write to this particular material. All right, and privileges belong to the rightful content creator of this great piece of art. We do not intend to infringe on the copyrighted materials. See you in the next one. Do well to stay put, stay safe, and it's a bye for now.